lost in scandals. Mothers have died while giving birth in poor medical facilities, characterized with no medical supplies. Youth unemployment is at its peak, and the education system is alarming. Would you wish for a new Uganda where recruitment is based on merit, not through political patronage? A new Uganda where land and equitable distribution of national resources is secured. A new Uganda where there is justice, respect for human rights, rule of law and democracy. A new Uganda where there is proper governance, equal access to quality public services, especially health and education. A people-centered Uganda where there is a right to social justice. A new Uganda for liberation, servant leadership, social and economic transformation. A new Uganda where there is an end to poverty, zero tolerance for corrupt practices, gender equality and a people-centered government. A new Uganda where the future of our children's children is guaranteed. Then vote Kyagulanyi Ssentamu Robert for President of Uganda 2021-2026. People power, our power. National Unity Platform everywhere. This message is powered by Electoral, Uganda.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Twebaza Katonda atusobozesezza okuba nti tukyaliramu okutuuka essaawa ya leero. Nsuubira nti buli omu gy'ali ali mu mbeera ennungi ate era ng'obulindaala olw'ekyo kye tulindiridde okumala ebbanga lino lyonna. It's a countdown time. Tulina ennaku 9 from now okuba nti tugenda okwebeereramu okulaga ekyo kye tukoleredde okumala emyaka gyonna. Serious campaign yatandika myaka 3 emabega. Right now wano we tutuuse tugenda ku makungula gaayo, kitegeeza tuteekeddwa okwebeereramu. I don't know oba eddoboozi lyange liwulikika bulungi, but I promise by the time we tunaatuukira wakati lijja kuba nga literedde. Baganda baffe abalwadde, abali makomera, bonna tubasabira. Abaavuddeyo olunaku lwajjo mugira okulikayo. Bannaffe abakyaliyo bubeere buvunaanyizibwa bw'abantu ababa bamanyi, kubanga eyabadde agoberera ensonga wadde okiraba bulungi. Ebibuuzo ebibadde nga babuuza abashurities, cause waliwo ekimu ekyansisizza. Omulamuzi yabuuzizza omushuriti nti okola mulimu ki? I think shuriti n'amugamba I'm a carpenter. Then ate gwe yabadde azze okweyimirira n'abanga munnamawulire, yababuuziza nti musisinkana waggwe munnamawulire n'ono omubazi. Although it sounded funny, naye mumanyi mbeera ne system nga nfu, ekibuuzo kyonna omuntu asobola okukibuuza oba omuntu asobola okukozesa ensonga yonna. Okusooka byonna, obunyamivu bwe tusooka okubulabira wewa engeri gye bakwatamu baganda baffe under normal circumstances zinfu. Cannot say that you got the team arrested and the team leader was set free that very day. I don't say that I have to see my principal in jail, but injustice, if you find injustice anywhere, somewhere, it means it is a threat to justice anyway. Believe me or not, if it was a genuine case, then even the principal would have been remanded as the other ones were. You could not charge them for spreading COVID, yet you did not see anyone checked and found positive with the COVID virus. You can't say you are charging these people, you are discharging them on bail, cash bail, and you hike the price to that extent. Yet you knew that these are people who are not employed. Majority of them are not employed or out of business, because you know the system. And we are tasking the judicial system and all judges and lawyers that stand in these pumped up charges against our people, that during the struggle, just remember what your contribution was. And you should remember that we are putting everyone on a record, and we shall hold you accountable afterwards. So all judges, all lawyers, remember what you stand for during this trying moment. We are not leaving any stone unturned as we enter the new Uganda. I told you I'm not a politician and I don't seek any post in politics. That is why I'll always tell you the truth. I'll point you into the right direction, because you should know what is awaiting you after that. This is a struggle, and you should be prepared for the outcome. You should be prepared for the outcome. Every Ugandan, you must know the contribution towards this struggle. And you will not go without being checked. It is as if the government is trying to milk the Ugandans, yet they're not fed. You can't start arresting people without any good reason, any genuine reason, and wait for a bailout call where you have to get money out of the people that you know are not employed. For our comrades that are still inside, we pray for you, and we call upon all those who know you to come and stand surety, because we wouldn't love to see anyone inside. We know that this is all meant to destabilize us, to demoralize, struggle. But I told you we had put everything into account before we joined this thing. So please, always remember that wherever you post, you're posted there to deliver the message. The gospel of the revolution should be spread everywhere. That is my call to the judicial system and those people that are playing any part. We've not forgotten any one of you, right from the judges who stood before us, hearing the cases, prompted up charges against Robert Kyagulanyi of ammunition possession, those that have failed us in finding justice for our fallen comrades, right from Yasini Kauma and the rest. We still remember all of you. We still know all of you. We've got all the records. Then we look upon Mr. Byabakama, the Electoral Commission, which has been my main reason as to why I've started this program today. We task the Electoral Commission that if they cannot hold a credible election, they still have a few days to resign. We are ready for change, and we shall do whatever it takes to make sure that we attain what we intend to gain. Mr. Byabakama, this started with a very simple rumor, and the propaganda you spread from the Electoral Commission, calling upon people and making them think that whoever didn't have the national ID could not stand a chance to cast a vote. You preached the gospel of getting the Ndagamuntu, the national ID. At first, you thought people would reject it. On your surprise, the turn-up overwhelmed you. After realizing that, then you started another propaganda dishing the Ndagamuntu, saying that it is not of any use, but rather you are to consider the registration, voters register. Yet, you all knew that the voters register information would only be got from NIRA, the ones that people submitted in as they get in the Ndagamuntu, which we knew that you were playing on our brains, thinking that we are fools. We had started with the first step of acquiring the national ID. We applaud all the people that listen to us, and we reacted positively. You've come up with a lot of propaganda trying to discourage and demoralize the people. And these people have stood against that. Till the end, you still come up with information that is disturbing and trying to disorganize the electorate. It was Byabakama himself who said in front of cameras that even if someone had the national ID, but if they don't appear on the registers that will be embedded in the ballot boxes on the D-Day of 14th January, they will not be allowed to vote. Even if they could provide all evidence of being Ugandans, being citizens, and being known to the village, that they did not stand a chance to vote. Then you emphasize people to get the voter's slip, location slip. CS also came up with another disturbing information that they broadcasted. They said that Byabakama was clear that whoever didn't possess a voter's slip will not be allowed to vote. Then later on, the spokesman also came and said, no, these ones are just to help us locate our polling stations and to limit the time to be spent as people were trying to look for polling stations. It is funny that even after the display of the voter slip, irregularities still popped up. If you are saying that you made these voter slips to avoid the inconveniences of people looking for their polling stations, then the display shows people coming up with different voter slips. Same name, two different photos, and two voter slips. All these irregularities still question the credibility of the intention in the Electoral Commission. Mr. Byabakama, we've always warned you. You remember when you were trying to make amendments on the elections bill. What you said was that you got advice from the president, who is the head of the executive, the government organ which does not deal with legislation. Instead of going for the parliament, because we know in terms of law, you're a judge. You should know better that if you wanted to make any amendments, the organ of government you had to contact was the legislature. And instead of going to the legislature, you decided to look for the executive, where the incumbent is interested in the electoral process. And the amendments made were intended to at least coerce the intentions of the opposition and people. This has failed, and you made sure that at least you could discourage majority of the people who are intending to stand for posts of leadership in the country on various categories. We still task you to provide evidence of candidate Rutabashirwa Tibuhaburwa. We would like to see or verify his citizenship and academic qualification. You went ahead and nominated the man, and he's now enjoying the benefits of the country against the people's will. If you don't know what is awaiting you, from whatever I'm saying, you could pick some charges, because I'm sure you're a judge and you know what it means. As a person leading a body that is entrusted with running or taking charge of the electoral process, Byabakama, you've looked upon the violation and kept a deaf ear and a blind eye upon all the violations that have been taking place by the NRM and the security personnel agencies. Unlawful arrests, brutal attacks onto the citizens, disturbances by hindering candidates from access to places where they had organized their rallies. All these, you kept a deaf ear. And on several occasions, when you came out to address the issues, you kept on telling the people lies. The public has been deceived by a person they entrust. They vote with. Byabakama, I don't know if you're aware that all that you're doing and whatever you're saying, people are keeping it on record. And I would like to assure you that we are so much determined to see this change happen, and we are ready to pay all the costs that will be required. It is unfortunate that with all this determination, you still think you stand a chance of fooling Ugandans again. We won't say that we don't know what you're going through. We do. But your conscience should tell you that you stand a chance of doing right even when you're so much challenged. Mr. Museveni and his people are trying to use the Electoral Commission to suppress the intentions of the people. But believe me, this time around, we shall always remind you that we consider electoral politics a trigger that is leading us to revolution. So, you either stay warned or do the right thing when you still have time. It is also said that you intend to frustrate, especially National Unity Platform, by introducing a new requirement of COVID certificate to be provided by all the polling agents. We are telling you, Mr. Byabakama, that it is either we are in this as from the beginning, as it has been. All the frustrations that you have been organizing, we've managed to beat them. So we are assuring you that this time round, whatever comes, we are on ballot, we are at the polling stations, we are to vote, we shall keep our vote, we shall protect it. We must overlook all this electoral process until the end. This time around, we have to fight for our victory at whatever cost. And I appeal to all Ugandans to wake up early on the 13th. I told you yesterday that we are sleeping where our electoral materials will sleep. We shall be at the polling station as early as 4 in the morning. Everyone is entitled to be there in person. You're supposed to witness the electoral process without fail. Don't dedicate this to anyone. It is your mandate and your obligation. So I appeal to you all, Ugandans, to make sure that you are there and you see this through. Remember, if we turn up massively, we stand all chances of not going far and reducing the number of casualties that will be in the transition process. If you don't come, they stand a chance of winning the vote. So let us all participate as Ugandans. Let us all do what we've not been doing in the past. Comrades, this is our country. We've managed to persevere almost 4 decades. Let us not give up. It is our own hope. If we lose this, then we stand no chance. But forever we shall live to cast ourselves, because our country is about to fall into the hands of the people, especially Chinese, that have already started taking part of it, claiming control over parts of the country. If the rumor is true that China has taken over Entebbe Airport, that is the most important port of entrance Uganda has, and it's the only direct port of entrance. We only have one international airport, and that is Entebbe. And if it is taken up by China and it is controlled by China, that means accessing Uganda should be at the mercy of China, which we warned you against and gave you examples of countries like Sri Lanka, countries like Zambia, where now even the leaders of the defense forces are Chinese. We either fight for our rights or forever stay dumb and stupid as we are considered their leaders. So wake up, Ugandans. Wake up. It is the 14th, marked as the most important day of our country. We shall live to remember that. Be part of the history, because believe me, it is history in the making right now. Play your part as a Ugandan. Let us all wake up, turn up in big numbers. Every one of us is mandated to vote, protect the vote, make sure you follow it up, you demand for the victory, and make sure that you ensure that it is put in practice. It is our country, and our responsibility and obligation. I always warn you against the trust you put into the international community, that you don't need to bend down for them, but rather if you stay determined on your cause, they'll always get attracted to you. Africa has always been an attraction, and they will always be manipulators and exploiters. So they won't leave you. If they see you're determined, they'll always get attracted to you. That has been my simple message. I wish to see you in another program that I'm intending to make 2 or 3 minutes after now. So I call upon everyone to turn up. I call upon all Ugandans abroad in the diaspora to go back home. Let us all turn back and say that we fight for our country. Mission is 2021. Kyagulanyi Ssentamu Robert is our president. National platform everywhere. People, power, our power, for God and my country. I salute you.